You can't be serious, man. You cannot be serious.
And then there were three. I'm going to ask a very very special aficionado on the AFL what he thinks I mean by at great expense we've secured him for the final series, AFL that is. Doug Hawkins is the man. What do you think, Doug? And then there was three means.
What is it? Well, actually, I'm not sure, Sam. What does it? And by the way, I did tip Port in the Lions last week and got that right.
I want to get on to that in a minute.
All right,
just,
go on.
What do you think?
Idea what the three mean.
Well,
no
of course.
Idea.
Well, then there was three.
Well, who's the three?
Well, then there was. Isn't there 3 games left?
Oh, sorry. Yes. Yep. There is.
Yep. Then there was 3.
Yeah, there's 3. Yeah, 3 games left. Correct.
Yeah. So. Righto. So I want to. Oh, all right. Well, you're now seeing if you've brought that up, you tipped everyone. So
3 or only 2?
Well, there's 2 games.
It's only 2 games left, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, what are you talking about?
Well, 2 prelims and a granny. So Sam's.
Oh, 2 prelims.
I think he's on the money. Yeah. Yes, correct.
Oh God, he's right again. How rude. I'll suck it up.
I wasn't going to bring this up now, but I will now, seeing as you've preempted it. So you said you tipped all the winners, right?
Correct.
Yep. So I'm saying my smoky was Hawthorn. I thought they would go through and win the grand final, and I am saying that tip of mine was correct about them beating Port Adelaide. Do you know, because how could James Sicily, is it James? Jim?
James.
How could Jim Sicily, if Jim Sicily kicks the goal, the simple goal, in the dying minute or 2 minutes of the game, I'm a serious star for tipping. But he missed it and made me look like a dill. So I'm saying that is a moral victory to me. He would never miss that goal, the great James Sicily. And he kicked me into oblivion by missing that goal. He choked.
Did you watch that game, Sam?
I did.
What did you make of the 2-3 kicks to the Hawthorn players for? You remember I said this 3 or 4 months ago that if I was a coach, I would not let my players tackle.
Shocking.
Did you? Sorry?
Yep. Shocking it was.
Shocking. Oh.
It's a physical game. They were slung, tackled beautifully to the ground. It was no fault of the tackler that the 2 boys hit their head. They bounced down with the force of the tackle, and they could have easily, I reckon they made a meal out of it. They made the most of it, and to pay that in a contact sport is a disgrace.
Sam, 180%. You imagine in a grand final that happening. No sling, no heavy tackle. One of the players, I reckon, the boy Burgoyne, who actually played very, very well for Port Adelaide, the player that he tackled, I can't remember who it was, Sam, he actually threw his head out. He threw his head towards the ground. It got Hawthorn back into the game. I felt that because it just felt like Port Adelaide had control of it. Their pressure really, Sam, on Hawthorn
was fantastic.
Port Adelaide. Oh,
it was fantastic. So
Kenny Hinkley just hunted. He got his players to hunt the opposition when they had the footy. A young side like that under pressure could drop away quickly. But as you stated, Sam, last week, Hawthorn are a very, very, very good side. Those kids stood up. They stood up under pressure.
But for Mr. Sicily missing the simplest of goals.
Sicily.
So what's his name?
Sicily.
I said Sicily, didn't I?
He's a captain.
As for Jim Sicily missing that goal, he's a star, and he kicked them out of the finals. And he's a lovely, great player. Lovely boy, great player, but he choked.
It was a very ordinary kick, Sam. He ran to the right. And don't forget, it does play in the back line. I thought the move by Sam Mitchell to put him forward was the right move. They needed something down there or someone down there to kick a couple of goals.
Would have turned out to be a winner had he kicked the thing straight.
It would have. It would have, Sam. It actually would have. And I want to ask you a question here.
Oh, you're obviously on the squirt again, Doug, because you've said arcs. The last time you said you weren't on the squirt, you said ask.
Been 10 weeks now off the drinks now.
Right, well, you've slipped back into old habits, Doug.
All right, I'll slip back.
Go on, you want to ask me what?
Now, I want to ask you this. Ken Hinkley, the coach, in the heat of the contest, I won't call battle, in the heat of the contest after the game, had a bit of a crack at the boy Jack Ginnivan, who made a comment during the week on social media.
Yes, but Doug, before you go on, I'm glad. I just want you to tell me. I can give you a on the run assessment of what you're going to ask me, because I don't know what he said. I haven't seen it. So you tell me, well, like you're about to. You tell me what happened, and I'll tell you what I reckon.
Well, young Ginnivan, he'd made comments on social media, Sam, during the week that he was looking forward in 14 days to play Sydney.
So, meaning he thought that they'd beat...
They're going to beat Port, and they'll beat Port, and they'll play Sydney to an old Collingwood teammate in Brodie Grundy.
Yep.
And obviously after the game, when things were in
fair
really
comment. That's fair comment, isn't it? Ginnivan saying that?
Nothing wrong with saying that.
No,
he's happy to say that. And so Kenny Hinkley, the coach of Port Adelaide,
yes,
he gave the aeroplane movement, like with his both hands out, saying you won't be flying anywhere.
Yep.
And you copped your right whack, you little prick. So he gave him a fair...
And so is that what he said? You copped your right whack, you little prick?
Well, something like that.
No, so this is the point. In order to make an assessment of how the AFL are completely ruining a great game despite them running it, is that what... Tell me what he said. I can't find out what Hinkley said.
Well, I don't reckon it was that, Sam. I said that.
You don't reckon it was? You made that up.
Well, I actually made that up. But he did say something towards Ginnivan.
Well, what?
And I actually don't. It had never come out. It has not come out, Sam. It's not come out.
Well, as I understand it, he's got fined $20,000, hasn't he?
Correct.
Well, how can they fine him $20,000 if they don't know what he said?
Well, exactly right. But they said it was unbecoming of a coach. Now, Sam, the question I put, Sicily had a crack at him. He had a real good go at Hinkley as being the captain and supporting his younger teammate. That's fine. I've got no problem with that whatsoever.
None.
The question I put to you, Sam, where's that $20,000 go? What fund does that go in?
That goes into consolidated revenue of the AFL. Who cares where it goes, Doug? You've got to tell me. You've got to tell me what Hinkley said that would cost 20. If he just say he said what you said.
Prick.
Bad luck, you little prick. Do you know this competition? I thought McLaughlin was bad enough. Andrew Dillon and Laura Keane, have they got any idea what it is they're trying to do with this game? Wait till I get on to the start of the game. I'm going to do this again because this is gone. This is out of control. This is not out of control. This nonsense. But I'll just get the game going first.
You're right,
How possibly could you find someone $20,000 for saying, even if he said that, you're out of line, you little prick, or bad luck, or get the bus home, or...
Cop your right whack. Yeah, cop your right whack.
You got your right whack. What a disgrace. What a fair dinkum disgrace. Yeah. We have turned this game into a pandering, pathetic, sissy game of bloody touch football. It is sickening. It is honestly sickening. And to have those two people, the new Andrew Dillon, come in after the hapless McLaughlin left, and then Laura Keane, what do? Sit having Krispy Kremes and coffee and think out how can they fuck the game up any better than what they're doing? It's extraordinary.
I don't think it's what he said. I don't think it's what I said. I think it's that he taunted the players, the opposition, in when they win, and I don't think it's in the good spirit of what the AFL wants.
Hang on, who taunted who?
Hinckley, and this was on visual, so it doesn't matter what Ginnivan said on social media, and it's not a right or wrong in what they said. I think it's more of a visual thing that Hinckley was seen to be taunting.
Meaning what?
The opposition, just bad mouthing and just
So
being
I think Sam. I think Sue's right. I think Sue's on the money there. It's not a good look.
Correct.
That's what Sue you're saying. It's not a good look for the game. And,
So he was verbalising the opposition by
Correct.
putting a middle finger in the air or just speaking?
Doesn't matter what he said. It was just probably bad taste.
Well, how about
they did a
those?
great job winning. It should have been. You should enjoy the process rather than.
Well, how about Beavis and Butthead, who are running the competition? How about those two people say, Ken, can I have a word to you, mate? The two of us, Laura and what's his name? Laura and Andy. This is
Andrew Dillon.
Andy and Laura. We're just on a closed circuit call. What do you call it? What do you call it when you FaceTime? Not FaceTime.
A call up.
What do you call it to?
FaceTime.
No, when you
conversation on the phone.
when you can see a face in a screen. Come on, when you see the face on the screen, it's a
it's a
visual.
Jesus.
No, it's
seriously.
a word, but I
Come
can't
on,
remember.
when you have a conference call and we're Skype,
or a Zoom.
How about
Zoom.
they get Kenny in his little office behind his mahogany desk in Port Adelaide, and we have Beavis and Butthead down the other end, and they say, Ken, it's Beavis here, and Butthead's going to have a chat in a minute. Would it be possible, mate, in the interests of the game, could you refrain from mouthing any words at all that might be misconstrued that puts our game into disrepute? We'll give you a warning. Would you mind backing off a little? I know you were provoked and I know you're excited, and we've never played the game ourselves. Laura hasn't, as I understand it, and I'm not sure if Andy has. But we've never played the game at the highest level, and we don't understand the emotion of sport because we're not actually sports people ourselves. We're just in these positions and getting $1 million a year to run them. And would it be possible for you just to reframe a little in the heat of the moment, and we'll give you a warning? Would you take that on advisement? And Ken would say, thank you so much, Beavis, and certainly you, Butthead. I will take this on board, and it won't happen again. How about that?
Yeah, no, I'm with you, Sam, and yeah, well, anyway, he got his 20 grand whack, and he'll move on from that, and it was a good win by them at the end, Sam, for it.
Well, was it?
It was a good win.
Well,
they're going to a prelim final now.
Well, yeah, but Doug, had Mr. Sicily kicked the goal, you'd say
I know
they
that.
choked, they lost two. They didn't. I know it's easy to say that, but Mr. Sicily, honestly and truly, that is
20 metres out. 20 metres
almost
out.
criminal. That. And he's a terrific boy, and I'm going to say it's not a slight in him. It is a slight in him. He choked, but that's what happens when in the pressure pack of football, and that's what Beavis and Butthead should actually take into account, that it's a pressure pack game. And how could you find Kenny? Where would I think it goes in? Probably to the AFL canteen, the 20 grand, and they all get the Verve Clicquot out and a couple of butterfly wings and aspic jelly, and they sit round all tugging themselves and have a circle jerk and think, oh shit, how good are we? And then we'll move on. So that's that.
Now, are we moving on to the Lions and GWS?
Not yet.
Are we?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. What have we got to do more about Port? What has happened there? Go on.
Not yet.
What are you going to talk about? Port and Hawks.
No.
Have we analysed that game?
How far are the AFL going to go? It's getting worse. It's becoming more pathetic. The feigned patriotism of completely submitting to activist groups. It's not necessary or sincere. It's a diatribe of gobbledygook, this welcome to country, this pandering, this sycophanting crap that goes on before a game. The public are getting sick and tired of it. Respect, of course, we have respect for every Australian, but the pandering, cringeworthy nonsense, we've got to reject it. We've got to show annoyance. We've got to ignore it. And when you have some bloke come out in a leopard skin or a bear skin Cape and say that the ceremonies have been tradition for 250 years BC before Cook. The ceremonies have been going on for about 30 years. I think Ernie Dingo said "Welcome to my country" when he was doing a jamboree up in Northern Territory, and someone latched onto it because they thought it's a good money spinner. It is a lie. It's a hoax. And why the AFL? I'm telling you, if you go to the football, get there late so that you only get there for the national anthem, or if you're watching it on television, either tape it or make sure someone says, the welcome to country's over, you can come and watch. It is a disgrace that we are pitting people of other races and other skin colours against one another. We are Australians. And for God's sake, it goes on and on and on. And you have that clown, whoever he was, got up and said, BC, before Cook, we have been doing this ceremonies for 250 years. That is an absolute lie. That is a complete and utter fabrication of the facts. And I don't know why they allowed, this is Beavis and Butthead again, running the competition almost into the ground. It's a disgrace. I don't care what you call me or what you think I'm saying. I am a patriot for Australia, not for division. It's bullshit.
His name was Brendan Kerrin, Sam, this bloke.
Who is he?
I watched it. His name was Brendan Kerrin.
Yep.
This is a bloke who got up and said, welcome to the country. It is not a welcome to Australia. Within Australia, we have many Aboriginal lands, and we refer to our lands as the country. And he said something about white people. I'm not sure. I didn't quite catch all that, Sam. Did you get all that, Sue? Sam, he said something about white people.
The man asked me to come and watch it over. I'm up here on his where I was next door, and I said, "Mate, give us a call. Give us a call when the welcome to country's over." So I came over. So he says. We have a lot of indigenous tribes or something. The tribes, those tribes, 100 of them were belting the living shit out of one another. There was rape and pillage and murder. They were fighting, and until some sanity came when BC arrived, we got a constitution, we got a set of principles to live by. We tried to treat every Australian, no matter what your skin colour, with dignity and respect. There are some pockets of people who don't respect. That goes on around the world. But generally, we're not intrinsically racist, this country, and we try and give everyone a fair go, and we bend over backwards to accommodate people who are in a worse position than us. And the people whinging about it are probably the top elite 5% sports people in the country, and they're whinging about what? There's so many Indigenous people saying this is nonsense about the welcome to country. It is a hoax. It's made up. So let's just pretend, let's just say we are Australians. And to have someone stand there, how old is Mr. What's his name? Brendan Kerrin. How old is he?
I reckon, Sam, probably looking at him, he's probably in his early mid-50s.
So to have a man of 50,
maybe.
A man of 50 welcoming people to the country who have been here 40, 50 years longer than he's been on the planet is an absolute, it is cringeworthy. And why the AFL allow this to go on, it gets bigger and bigger, and people are getting more and more tired of it. It is cringeworthy bullshit. And fair dinkum, they're gradually driving the game into the ground despite the crowds increasing and despite some of the games being exciting. They're exciting because they're close. Their football predominantly is ordinary. But seriously, what are they trying to do to our great game? So,
Sam, you nailed it, Sam. And even the players lined up. I watched some of those players putting their heads down and looking around, and I believe some of those players were embarrassed by this bloke Brendan Kerrin's comments. No doubt about it. You nailed it.
What a
never heard of it. I've never ever. He's probably getting 10 grand, to do this.
This is just the greatest money spinner. This is the activists. Just they never ever lose an opportunity to make $1 out of snowing and hoaxing the public. So. That's that. And I'll say this every week, and it'll go on every week. And you wait till the grand final comes. God Almighty, we'll burn half the. So So that's that, Doug. We've got that off our
Well, you're
chest.
not the only one, Sam. Andrew Rule. You know Andrew Rule?
Yes.
From the Herald Sun and the Fox News. He's had a monster crack at the Brendan Curran and some of the things.
Did he? Well, good.
the
Well,
stuff
why
that he
don't
said.
why don't
Monster
some
crack at
why don't some people come out like some players come out? There's plenty of Aboriginal players
Don't
and
support
plenty of Aboriginal people, plenty of Aboriginal personalities and politicians in this country say exactly the same thing. Why does the AFL think they have to fall over themselves to patronise bullshit? It is a disgrace.
But people do come out and say, I mean, there's Tony Jones has come out and supporting what you say about so there have been
Tony
personalities.
Jones didn't support what I
Well,
say.
he
When
did.
I said, as a tongue-in-cheek to Don Scott, we should boo, I didn't. I shouldn't have. I was just trying to get a rise out of Don. I should have said we should honestly just turn our backs on it and not take no notice of it. He probably was being the devil's advocate,
But I think it's more and more becoming that people are aware of it and starting
and
to
you know why people don't do it? Because they're shit scared of getting cancelled and losing their jobs because the sponsors will rail up and say it's like Woolworths not selling Australia Day gear, having it at the back of the shop.
But athletes can't. Athletes should not get involved.
No,
athletes
well, they
shouldn't.
shouldn't.
Current players or current people.
Why do they
maybe
Why do they dress the Australian Olympic team up in half their gear in Aboriginal?
It's not
patterns?
their problem. That they're there to do a
I know,
job,
it's
and
not,
that's the committee.
But
So
it's just people can't
athletes
help
are
themselves
athletes.
to. It's just slobbering suck up
Doug,
shit.
help me here. Doug, where are you, mate?
No, it's fucking.
So I'm here,
so-
mate.
Doug,
Sam, I've got some great mates, Aboriginal mates. They've got brothers. I call them brothers, and my brothers. This is beyond the joke. This is getting too much. I actually turn it down. I'm in bed, Sam, watching the footy, Sue, me and Raylene. I turned it down. I got to turn it down. And I got great mates. I got great Indigenous mates. Michael McLean, the Cracker brothers, Les Bamble. I've got a lot of great mates.
The past
Aboriginal
ones should
blokes,
get involved. I agree that the past ones should get involved, but current players, I do not believe that should get involved in anything political. They're there to do a
politics.
job and do a job which they love, and that's play their sport, whether it be the game of football or any other sport.
Well, I've got another politically correct thing to mention, but first of all, we'll finish with the football, Doug. Now, there's three more games to go. Two of them on, I think, Friday and Saturday, aren't they? One on Friday, one on Saturday. Just give us your synopsis, Doug. Give us your. I'm going to ask
very quickly, Sam.
Quickly.
Very quickly.
We're against
Well,
time.
not quickly. Lions. No, we're going all right. Lions, GWS. I fell asleep. They were 40 points up. GWS.
47 at one stage, weren't they? 45.
Well, yeah, it was something like it was 44. Anyway, Sam, Sue, I fell asleep. I got up and went to the gym. On the way to the gym, I went down to the news agent down in the main street of Bacchus Marsh. A bloke at the front I ran into who I know a little bit, an older bloke. I said, who won last night, mate? He said, GWS, Dougie. Very, very good side. So I went in and I said to the bloke behind the jump, the news agent, Pete, good bloke Pete. I said, Pete, what do you make of GWS? They're a good side, aren't they? He said, what are you talking about? They got beaten.
Yeah.
So one bloke at the front, Sam, Sue, said to me that they won. And then Pete behind the jump said, no, Dougie, they got beaten. I said, mate, I fell asleep. They were 38 points up. How can they get beaten?
Ask Sam
said,
how
mate,
he watched it.
Yep.
Did you watch it, Sam? Did you watch it?
I went over to this friend's place, the boat next door, and I said, give us a call when the Welcome to Country's over and I'll come over. I don't want to watch that. So he said, it's over. So over I go. 3/4 time, I said, mate, I'm going home. I watched the F1 practice at Azerbaijan in Baku, and watched Max Verstappen come second. Couldn't put his Red Bull on the pole position. I think Charles Leclerc or Charles whatever his name is put the Ferrari on pole, and I thought, well, that's fantastic. So I get up like you. I get up in the morning. I said, this bloke's name's Craig. I said, God, Craig, he said, you left a bit early. I said, what happened? He said, I said, bullshit. He said, absolutely. I said, you could not be, I couldn't believe it. Jesus. They conceded, they've conceded
2 weeks in a row.
110 points they've conceded to lose the two games. Someone said.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Kingsley, the coach, he looked empty. He has a shell of a bloke. I mean, it's just... Anyway, Sam, that was that.
Now, so
we're
come
going
on.
into the prelims, though. We're going to the prelims. Port are playing Sydney.
Port Adelaide are playing,
Sydney.
yes. At Homebush, is it, Doug? Doesn't
Is
matter
it
where
Sydney
it is.
Cricket Ground? They
Right.
don't play the cricket ground anymore, do they? Or do
I
they?
don't
Or
know.
do
Sue's got it here.
But anyway, Port, Sam. Have they? What is it?
Sue's got it. What is
The SCG.
It's at the cricket ground.
Gadigal.
Gadigal. They've renamed it Gadigal.
They got it.
Now, here's the thing, Doug.
Who's Gadigal?
This is the Aboriginal name. Now, here's the thing. How can you rename a city? How can you rename a city that didn't exist before Federation? How can you give it an Aboriginal name if it didn't exist before Federation? It wasn't called a name, any name, because it wasn't in existence. It was built by people who came here. How can you rename it in the name of something that wasn't here in the first place? This is how it's...
Who are you going for, Doug?
Fuck me.
Well, Port Adelaide, Sue, Sam, have beaten Swans 8 of their last 8 games. Port have beaten them.
Is that right?
100%. 100%.
And
they beat
you
by
are...
112 points, round 6. They beat them by 112 points in round 6.
That's right. I said they didn't try, they didn't try in the grand final against Geelong.
Geelong just smashed them.
They didn't try, the Swans.
I don't think Port can beat the Swans. The Swans had a week off. Footy's changed, Sam. So you got to be fresh these days. Not like years ago when you played 4 or 5 tough games in a row. It held you in great stead. You got to be fresh, and I just think the Swans had that week off. I think they're a very good side. They're back in some good touch. I think they'll beat Port, but it won't be easy. Port are right in the mix, but for me, Sam, Sue, the Swans for me.
I tend to agree with you, Doug. I don't know why. Port Adelaide were fantastic. They hit them so hard, but then to lose it, to snatch it after that boy missed the goal, they shouldn't have been there. But they are.
So they're there, and
now the MCG Geelong versus Briz
at 5 o'clock. Sam.
Yep.
Tom Stewart will be back in the side. Who? Didn't play late with Tom Stewart.
Yep.
He'll be back in the side.
Geelong player.
Yes, the club captain, Sam.
Yep.
You know that or not? You know that.
Tom's the captain of Geelong.
Correct.
No, I didn't know that. I honestly didn't know that. Well, isn't Dangerfield?
Bullshit. Sam, that's bullshit. You know Tom.
No, I didn't. I thought Dangerfield was.
Are you serious? Are you serious?
Is Dangerfield the captain of Geelong?
No, he's not.
Sue?
Tom Stewart is, isn't he? I think Tom Stewart's a captain, isn't he? Sue? Can you look that up, Sue, for us, just to settle that for me? Who's captain?
Let me just check it out.
I think it's Tom Stewart, isn't it? I hope I'm right.
No, Patrick Dangerfield, yeah. 51 minutes ago, yeah, Geelong captain. I can't believe you two don't know that.
Oh, hang on a minute.
Sam Hewitt. I didn't know it.
Patrick Dangerfield has opened up on the darkest night of the Cats.
Are you sure that's not 1922?
That's saying 51 minutes ago. Who is the captain of current? Yeah, who is the current captain of Geelong?
And it's Dangerfield, is it?
Is it
2023 present?
Is it dual captains?
No, you got it right, Sam. No, you got it right. I'm wrong.
No,
Patrick Dangerfield is the.
No, Sam's right, Sue. Sam's got it right. Sorry, mate. You got it right, Sam. I'm wrong.
He's right again.
I apologise there. I thought Tommy Stewart was the captain. But anyway, I got it wrong and I apologise there, Sam.
So
Jimmy Bartell tonight. Jimmy Bartell has come out tonight.
Come out? He's out of the closet? What is he?
No, he's not out of the closet.
Oh,
he's come out.
He split up with his missus, didn't he?
They had a bit of a breather.
How's Studley Corns and Nicole going? Are they still? No, Nicole. The name is. Are they still an item?
Yes.
They're not having a breather.
That was made up. Someone made that up. Sam. Yep. Jimmy Bartell's come out tonight.
Yeah.
And he's put a huge support for the Tomahawk to come back into that Geelong side. Now, I know me and you had a little bit of dispute, a little bit of a disagreement last week.
Well, did we?
Tom, Sam, yeah, we did. You wanted the Tomahawk to come in.
I did nothing of the sort.
Didn't you?
Not
well, I said the side's better with him out, and you.
I
did you agree with me?
said if Tom Hawkins.
What did you say?
I said if Tom Hawkins is fit enough and has trained well enough and has played in reserves games and gets a game on his merits, if they give him a game on sympathy and emotion just because he's retiring and they put him on the bench, they deserve to lose.
Okay, you did too.
I did.
So is he playing or not?
He owes them nothing. They owe him nothing. He's a star. He's come from a great family. He's played the record number of games. But to give him a farewell thing and a final just to stroke each other and the club to think, oh, aren't we gratuitous and aren't we special? And he should say, I will not take a game if you are giving me on emotion.
He kicked one goal in a second, Sam. Sue, he kicked one goal in the VFL, which doesn't mean a lot. I mean, some blokes can go back in the seconds and don't play that well because of a different standard of footy.
A worse standard.
Sam, I personally think they're a better side. They've been a better side. Their forward line structure is better with Tom out of the side at the moment. And you hit it on the head. If he's not right, I wouldn't be playing him. If I was Chris Scott, I'd stick to what's got you into that prelim final, a mixed-up forward line led by Jeremy Cameron. That's what I'll be doing. But that's just me, Sam. But Jimmy Bartell said I'd be playing him. He takes a good defender. He attracts the footy. He went the other way to what I'm saying right now.
Good. Well, that's the beauty of a democracy. You can have an opinion, and an opinion is neither right or wrong. Only facts are right or wrong. So he might be right and we might be wrong, or vice versa. Now, Doug.
I reckon the Lions are going to get him, Sam. I think the Lions are going to get him. Now, who are you tipping?
Well, Doug, see, you would
Don't
think.
Don't go with your heart. Take your Geelong hat off,
Shut
Sam.
up. I've asked you that every football game I've ever asked you about where Footscray have played. You've said, I think the Dogs are up and about. They've got some momentum. I've got Bevo, you've called him. Bevo's up and about. I never tip on emotion or whatever. And I believe that you are correct, Doug. I believe Brisbane will beat Geelong. And would you like to put a car on it?
No, we won't. We won't be betting.
Hey?
We're in the same team. We're both.
I know. I was hoping you'd go for Geelong, and I'd say I'll put a car on it. Do you want to change your mind? I'll put a car.
I'll go for Geelong. Yeah, I'll go for Geelong.
You
what sort of car we going to get?
One under 50 grand. It could be a Kia or a
XR6
or a Sanyong.
You're not being serious, Sue. You're not being.
You can buy 8 cars for 50 grand if you buy a Sanyong.
What's a Sanyong?
That's what Merv Hughes advertises. Sanyong. Drive hard, knackers.
Yeah, he does, Merv. He does too.
Yeah, drive knackers, drive hard.
Drive knackers. Well, Sam, this is played at the MCG at 5:15.
I was aware of that, Doug.
Right,
we're
have
under.
you got tickets for the grand final?
Oh, yeah. What's that called? What's the name of that ground? Wurundjeri.
What's that called, Sue?
Wurundjeri.
No, it's not.
And another ground that was never ever.
It's the MCG.
No,
no.
It's the Wurundjeri.
Yeah, the Wurundjeri people reckon they own it. They welcome you to it every time you walk out in it.
Has Warney changed his name on his stand?
Yeah, to
Shane Warne stand. What is it called now?
Shane Wurundjeri Warne. No, we've had a gutful. Seriously, we have great respect for all our fellow Australians, but this is just nonsense. Yep. This is bullshit. Now, Doug, so I want to...
I'm tipping who? I'm tipping Swans and Lions, me.
You're tipping the Swans and the Lions.
I'm going with Geelong. You're going to buy me a car.
No, I'm not going for Geelong. I'm going for the Lions. Yep. So now, Doug, I want to ask you this quickly. Well, not quickly.
Yep.
So you're talking about...
I've got Sam. I've got a shout out, which you don't know about this, and Sue don't know about this. Sam, a good mate. Do you want me to do it now? Can I?
Absolutely.
A good mate of mine, David Boxall, Dave Boxall, who owns Midway Concrete, great mates of Teddy Whitten Jr., part of the E.J. Whitten Foundation. His house on Sunday night, Sam and Sue, was robbed by 7 youths with machetes in Williamstown. He lives in Williamstown. 3 o'clock in the morning, he was in bed. His wife wasn't home. She's overseas. Thank God for that. They burst through come through his front door. It actually didn't wake him up. He was upstairs. Pinched his car, money, jewellery. 7 of them, aged 15 to 18.
Were they Caucasian?
I can't tell you that, Sam, because I don't know. I don't know that situation.
Right.
But I know that, 7 of them come from different areas of country Victoria. I think one was from Traralgon, someone was from somewhere else. And they found their way into Williamstown. Now, how do you actually come from... I think they started the pinching cars from Moorabbin Way, and they end up in Williamstown. Now, how... So anyway, I spoke to Boxy tonight. He said, Hawk, I'm okay. And it made us just absolute unbelievable. 7, Sam, they got locked. They got caught. They caught them. They got the 7 of them.
Did they?
On Monday afternoon, 5 of them released on bail.
My God.
Can you believe that?
Doug, I can understand you swearing.
I don't normally swear.
No, you never usually say fuck on this program,
No,
and
I don't.
welcome to it.
I don't do it.
What about
but that is just a disgrace.
What about
a disgrace?
What about Doug, the cum stains?
Yep.
Who pinched that woman's SUV and drove it up to Surfers Paradise.
I saw that.
15 they were, or 16, and they sprung them outside the McDonald's. They're in there just...
McDonald's.
Man, oh man, it's going feral. That state that I'm not in at the minute is on the way down. I hate to say it. We've got Dan Andrews. Dan Andrews has been accused of speeding, having someone else put in as driving the car. This is the police. It is so corrupt. It's so frighteningly dishonest. The country, the state we're living in, is fucked. And
Sam, 100%, Sue. His wife gave her maiden name. Gave her maiden name, not her full name.
Why do the coppers put up with it? Because they're just
Sam,
as corrupt.
Me and you get breathalyzed in an accident. None of them, not one of them got breathalyzed. He drove away in an unroadworthy car with a smashed windscreen. Mate, what a joke. And this is now 2013. It's just bullshit.
That man did to that state, his government should be put in Guantanamo. Guantanamo is where they put the terrorists in America, the Taliban. They are nothing more than retarded fucking people with syphilis. Now, Doug, listen to me. Syphilis. They've all got syphilis. Have a listen to this, Doug.
What? They're retarded with syphilis.
They are mentally fucked. And that's what happens when you get syphilis. When you get syphilis, your brain goes. It starts to eat the grey matter. It comes up through your agates and into your spleen, and it gradually eats your grey matter away.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Doug,
very well said.
Have a listen to this. Have a listen to this.
Oh, that was good.
A golfer at the 13th beach. Did you see this?
He got dressed up in a wig and a...
He got dressed up in a wig and a dress and said he wanted to play as a woman because the women's rates to play golf are cheaper. So he said, I will transition into being a woman. The person who filmed it and the person who said, why don't you do this, and the person himself got suspended from the club. Now, he could take them...
Did they get suspended?
Absolutely. He could take them to court and say, I am genuinely transitioning. If I say I'm a woman, I am a woman. I don't have to cut my dick off or have my agates put into a jar and put on my mantelpiece. If I am intact and I'm saying I'm a woman, that's all that needs to happen. and I can get into the women's change rooms and I can shower with them and tip them over if that's what I want to. But if I'm allowed into the women's change rooms because I'm portraying myself as a woman, he could sue them.
That's not what he got suspended for, though.
Oh. What did he get suspended?
What did he get suspended for, dude? What did he get
Because
suspended
of his
for?
aggression and how he treated the staff, which was against the policies of what the actual club upholds.
So they said you're a man and stop being
And then
stupid.
he's gone aggressive. So he's treated the staff in disrespect.
No, that's not right. They should say, "All right, sir. If you, all right, sir, if you are saying you're a woman, that's okay with us. That's the way society works today. They have no right to question him."
But that's a technicality.
Did they know him, Sue? Did they know him, Sue?
Yeah,
Did they know him?
Yeah, he was he's a male member, I suppose, a member of the club.
He got dressed up in the women's gear.
And
to prove a point.
To prove a point, which is fine. And to prove a point that he was a female to get the cheaper rates.
Yeah.
But then they're saying that he was disrespectful to the staff in his mannerisms.
Because the staff said to him, "Hey, Brian, you're being stupid. Why don't you take the dress and the wig off and get off the men's tees and hit off now?" And he said, "Go and fuck yourself. I am a woman and don't you speak to me like that because I'll take you for sexism." That's how it happens. Yeah, I'm a woman. Right.
Hey, but we on? Go on.
What? We're still on.
Just change and tack a bit from that. Are we finished with him? Her?
Yeah, they.
Him or her?
They. He's they now. He is they. Yep. Go on.
Who's gonna win the Brownlow?
Well,
who's gonna win the Brownlow medal?
Sue said. I said, "What'll I ask Doug after I've asked all these questions?" She said, "Ask him about the Brownlow." Well, who do you think?
Oh, okay.
Tell us who's the favourite.
Nick Dacos is a favourite.
Yeah. Is he suspended, wasn't
The son of Peter. No, he's okay.
He was injured.
Okay. Injured, he missed one game.
Oh, one.
Whatever it was.
Mm.
I think it was very hard to beat, Sam.
Right.
I think the boy. I tell you what I did do.
What
I had a little interest, and we always bet responsibly, and gambling's not a good thing, but.
No, it's not a good thing, though. But if you're sure of a tip, put your house on it. That's responsible. See if you can blow all your life savings on a bet if you think it's a real good one.
And remember that one thing: the more you put on, the more you get back.
Very, very sage advice, Doug.
So anyway, I thought the more you put on, the more you get back.
Yeah.
The kid Nick Blakey from Sydney Swans. He comes off the half-back flank. I think we spoke about this the other month or the other week. Bounces the ball, runs with it.
Carries it, you said. 20. You said he carries it.
Oh, that's right, carries it.
No, I said, well, of course he does, yeah.
So I'm going with Nick Dacos and Nick Blakey to finish in the top 20.
Anyone's name is Nick?
They're both Nicks.
Yeah, anyone. Big Nick? Is Big Nick still playing?
No, he's not Big Nick. I don't think he didn't look too well, Sam, last time I saw Big Nick.
No, I speak to him every now and again. He goes to all the functions.
He was at the Hall of Fame night, Sam.
He goes to all those.
Piggy Dunstall got inducted in as a legend, Jason Dunstall. Remember him?
Who? Dunstall? Yeah, no, I didn't hear what you said. Of course, the chief. Uganda's national symbol, the great silverback that just romps around the foliage and the mangroves up in the hinterland of Uganda. Yeah.
Yeah. He got inducted in, the big fella.
He did.
Happy.
And now,
He's really happy.
What about Cripps?
He's a good player, Cripps.
No, what about for the Brownlow?
There's no reason why he can't. He'd be second. I reckon. I'll tell you what, Sam. That Lockie Neal, not Lockie Neal. What's his name?
Lockie Neal.
Lockie Neal. He's won 2. Don't be surprised he doesn't win 3. Don't be surprised he don't knock it off again.
What about the Bont?
I think the Bont. He'll finish in the top 5.
God, fucking ever listen to you. I'm just reading these names out. Sue's put them in front of me. I've got no idea who any of them are.
Adam Trelaw's going to pile a lot of votes.
Is he?
Taken off him from the Bulldogs.
I would put your house on Dacos.
What about Heaney? Can he win it?
Who? Who, Doug?
Heaney, Sam.
You said
Heaney
handy.
plays for Sydney.
You said handy.
Heaney.
I've heard of Heaney, but you said, what about handy? Handy pandy. If you pronounce the names correctly, Doug, I can give you an accurate answer. I've never heard of fucking handy. He's Heaney.
I
Now,
can't
Doug,
keep doing this.
Now, Doug, you can't keep doing this.
Are you there, Sue?
Two more weeks you got, Doug. 3 more games.
Where
now,
are we
Doug,
going next week?
Doug,
Yeah,
I want to
yeah,
ask you one. Oh, I've forgotten the question I was going
I've
to ask.
lost my way.
I was going to ask you one more question. Oh no! Well,
what is
how
it?
about this for a hard luck story? This is true. I'm just. You don't have. There's a bloke called. Have a listen to this. How's this for bad luck?
There you go.
What?
Go on.
Well, I was about to. You said go on. I hadn't started. There's a bloke called Ron Wayne.
Yeah.
Ron Wayne. In 1976, he had 10% of Apple shares. 10% of Apple shares. You know Apple? In 1976, he sold them in 1976, the 10% for $800. Do you know if he'd kept the shares, what they'd be worth today?
What would they be worth, Sam?
$320 billion. And he sold them in 1976 for $800. He probably bought them for $1, and he thought, oh, well, I can get 800% on me money, and I'll just like to buy that bike or that like a motorbike. I'll turn that into $800, and if he'd kept the 10% of Apple, it'd be worth $320 billion.
$345 billion to be exact.
Thank you, Sue. You've
What's he do now, Sue? Sam,
I tell you what, he's in a mental
Wayne.
institution. He's in a mental institution. He went and smashed his head into a brick wall and said, "You fucking idiot, Ron."
He's 90 years old.
He's 90 years old. He's living in a suitcase
He's
down.
in a brick wall.
He's living in a suitcase down at the YMCA. Go and read it out, Sue.
What do you mean, read it out?
You said.
No, but
He's
Sam,
got a
who owns Apple,
Wikipedia.
Sam? Who
What?
owns Apple? Who owns Apple? Who owns Apple?
Well, it
Is
doesn't.
that Bill Musk? Is that Bill Musk? Or what's his name?
No, Elon Musk. No,
Steve Apple.
Elon Musk. It's Steve Apple.
Musk.
Sue said Steve Apple. What about Jonathan Apple?
Steve Jobs.
Yeah, Steve Jobs. Jonathan Apple.
Steve Apple.
But that's a listed company now.
No, Steve Jobs doesn't own it. Doesn't Mark Zuckerberg own it?
That's Facebook.
Well, doesn't he own Google?
No.
Anyhow, Elon, you said Elon Musk.
Steve Apple.
Yeah, Sue said Steve Apple. You said doesn't Elon Musk own it?
Elon Musk.
I said you mean Elon Musk. He owns X.
Oh.
He owns X.
What about Billy Gates? What's he own?
Billy Gates,
He owns everything. Him and Lockie Murdoch.
What's his
Rupert.
company?
Rupert. Hey, Rupert got married again, Sam. Sue, he got married. He's about 106. Rupert.
He is too. Do you reckon there'd be a
Lovely
prenup?
man.
Reckon he'd have a prenup?
I'm tipping. Yeah.
What did Bill Gates invent?
Microsoft.
Yeah, Microsoft. Yeah. But he's mad, Bill Gates. He thinks the world's going to come to an end because no one's driving electric cars. Yet he's got a boat. He's got a boat that uses 400 tons of fuel a minute. It's a mile long. His boat.
So Sam, did you see the boat that James Packer was on the other night?
It's his boat.
Was it 60 Minutes?
Yeah, 60
What's that?
minutes. Yep.
How big was that boat?
Yeah,
Is that
it's
bigger than your
big.
one?
Bigger than
yours?
They wouldn't use mine for kindle. They'd use mine as a
Tender.
They'd use mine for the toilets. All right, Doug.
108 metre boat.
Yeah, 108 metre. That's 340 feet.
What's the cost of that would be? Be what, 80 million? Would it be?
At least, more than that.
More. Oh.
Yep. All right,
All
Doug.
right.
Well, it's been fantastic. I can't think of
I'm going
anything
to
else.
bed.
What?
Good night. Good day, I mean. Good morning.
Well,
do you know where you are?
good heavens, Doug.
I'm on my couch.
Good on you, mate. All the best.
See you, Sam.
Good
See
boy.
you,
Bye.
guys.